If we had played on the weekend, we would have been fine to resolve the issue as well.
El hecho de que se juegue el lunes acerca el partido pone el partido contra Crystal Palace con menos tiempo.
The fact that we've had more days to prepare for this game means we'll have less days to prepare for the Crystal Palace game.
Se compensa una cosa con la otra.
So you get one thing, but it goes against it goes for you this time, but then it goes against you the next one.
No especialmente. Es un equipo que tiene mucho tiempo jugando del mismo modo.
No, especially they're a team who've been playing the same style of football for some time now.
Y todos los equipos de la Premier tienen un nivel alto y presentan dificultades similares.
All the teams in the Premier League are at a very high level and they present to you similar challenges.
Por supuesto que hay grandes equipos que están por arriba del resto.
Of course, there are some teams who are above the rest.
Pero el resto, los demás equipos son en general muy difíciles.
But the rest of the teams, in general, they're all difficult to face.
Está en muy buen nivel y todavía no resolví la formación del equipo.
He's at a very good level, but I haven't picked the 11 yet.
Y poder contar con él es muy bueno.
Being able to count on him, to pick him, is something very good.
Bueno, es un jugador absolutamente vigente y un gran goleador y muy rápido.
He's a very good player who scores lots of goals and he's very quick.
La semana de él fue normal y es cierto que a un atacante central convertirlo le aumenta la autoestima.
He's had a normal week, but it's true that when an attacker, a striker scores goals, his confidence increases.
It's no surprise that the northern powerhouse clubs who have dominated the season so far are right there. But perhaps a surprise that we've heard so little so far of Leeds United, a modern tradition that bears comparison with any club in Britain. Just 3 seasons ago they were the champions and they play their home football in a wonderful stadium which reverberates to fanatical home support, so much so that many players now will tell you that this is the most intimidating and partisan home crowd anywhere in the league. Really in the veteran stage now, Worthington, but proven a good purchase from Sheffield Wednesday, holding a regular place down. McAllister gets another chance. He loves to run at people. They've let him run an awfully long way, and that's a criminal mistake. And that's why Gary McAllister is one of the classiest midfield players in British football. With class men around, you can't, and that's Ward's point exactly. They invited him in. Fatal mistake. It's just perhaps one of those naive pieces of defending that have blighted Leicester's season so far. And McAllister has got all the class and the touch and the sense of where the goal is to punish a team for doing that. Now maybe something for Leicester. Maybe there'll be something for Mark Blake. There may well be an equaliser. It's just one more of those powerful runs that this midfield player makes. And this time Leicester get it right. Leeds defending has been pretty ordinary all night. There's a huge hole for Blake to run into. Just apologies for the breaks in your sound, but happily the pictures are uninterrupted from Grayson. Oh, he overran it. Was Joachim offside? Yes, he was. And a good opportunity goes begging for Leicester. And Simon Grayson's touch really let him down there. Look at this, Leeds are wide open here. It's 4-on-2 really. Options everywhere. Now at the other end, Here's a chance. Leeds have it through Noel Whelan. It's the same old story for Leicester City. They've allowed themselves to become exposed here. Dorigo allowed to charge into the heart of things. Whelan unmarked. 2-1. And how quickly their fortunes have turned around in this game, Leicester. Leeds haven't won the game yet. Desperate stuff now. Dying moments. Can Carr keep it? No. I wonder if there will be time for Leeds to get a substitute on. You'd rather doubt it, but it's John Pemberton who's half stripped for action, and so too the other sub, Phil Masinga. Maybe just be a precautionary move by Wilkinson. There's no time for any more at Elland Road, and the 68th minute goal by Noel Whelan, his 6th of the season, inflicts terrible retribution on some slack defending by Leicester City. Really the subject of their evening, and certainly the subject of discussions in their dressing room after Gary McAllister put them in front. Mark Blake levelling it all up for Leicester and giving them plenty of hope, but Leeds twice hit the woodwork. They looked the more penetrative side. Leicester may be learning, but are they learning fast enough in the top flight? Leeds still look for the win and the run to lift their confidence, but Leeds United have the points tonight. 2-1.
Marching on together. We are Premier League. Be ready for Leeds. Join the journey. Welcome, JD.
Well, it was a different game back then. The question is, Tim, are Leeds ready to return? Has it been too long?
So Leeds, how's your football team doing?
The big leagues aren't ready for Leeds, man. They aren't ready for Leeds, man.
Well, here I am at Elland Road as they get ready to welcome back top-flight football for the first time in 16 years.
Well, here we go then.
Leeds United is about more than football. It's about the culture. It's about loyalty. It's like the song says, it stays with you forever. The pride in pulling on that jersey, playing for the city and its people. That's why I always tell off my second home, Leeds United!
Well, a warm welcome along then to LUTV's coverage of this Premier League 2 clash Division 2 game between Leeds United and Crystal Palace. The game taking place at Thorp, and it promises to be a real good one between two teams that are in form of late. Leeds United are third in PL2 after collecting 10 points from 6 matches. They've won 3 of their last 4. In the last 5, it's a draw against Wolves, a victory over Sunderland, a win over Middlesbrough, a defeat to Reading, and last time out, Leeds beat Norwich by 2-0. Jan Poveda and Rafinha getting the goals. Crystal Palace might sit 9th in the table, 7 points from 5 matches, but they are in good form after winning 2 games in a row. They've beat Burnley and they've beaten Wolves, so that's pushed them higher at the table, kick-started their campaign. And these two teams have met a good few times in the last few years. The last 2 games have been draws. That was in the Professional Development League. And there's been no win for Leeds in 4. Myself, Tom Hill, and Ben Parker will bring you all the action today. It's another good team that Leeds have put out today. Plenty of youngsters that have been banging form. The likes of Max Dean has really impressed us in the games that he's featured. And while in the last game, Ben, we saw a few more first-teamers getting some minutes, of course, with Leeds United's first team in action on Monday nights. It's back to, I guess, what we're normally used to, and fingers crossed for another good performance.
Yes, good afternoon, Tom. Good afternoon, everybody else. And you're right, it's always good to see the first-team players dropping down into the under-23s like we've seen last week. They'll put some great performances on. The attitude was superb, but no, back to, like you said, more kind of trying to test with the younger players. And in particular for me, seeing Noah Kenner back out there, he's had an injury issue. Thankfully, he's shaken that off in his starts today. And I thought he really grew into his role as an under-23 player last season. We all know his potential. So whether he starts as a centre half, whether he plays in that holding midfield role, we'll soon see when the game gets underway. But from the boys' point of view, can you kick on again? Can you have that consistency to your game? Last time when it was a young team, they were just a bit inconsistent in places. A good performance, but just a little bit of inconsistency against Reading. So the key for Mark Jackson and the players is, yes, still try and play how we like to play out from the back, nice, attractive kind of football, but can you be ruthless in both boxes? I'm sure that's what Mark Jackson will be looking for today.
Yeah, fingers crossed, Ben, as we see the Leeds United team make their way from the far side of Thorp Arch towards the main training pitch. So Leeds go with Elias April in goal, Cody Drame, Niall Huggins, Ollie Casey, Charlie Cresswell, Noah Kenner, Max Dean, Jack Jenkins, Max McMillan, Joe Gelhart and Stuart McKinstry. The team, the subs for the Whites is Danny van der Heuvel, Leif Davis, Cole Gibbon, Liam McCarran and Josh Galloway. For the Palace today, who are led, by the way, by Sean Derry, the former Leeds United midfielder. They go with Ollie Webber, David Boateng, Jude Russell, Malachi Boateng, Noah Watson, Brandon Pierrick, Sam Woods, J. Rich Bagaloo, Reece Hannam, Rob Street and Scott Banks. In their last game, Scott Banks did score. He was one of the goal scorers against Wolves, and it does give me a bit of relief for the Leeds players out there now that Christian Benteke doesn't play, as he played in the last game against Wolves, and that would have been, well, it has certainly been a test for Leeds. I'm sure Charlie Cresswell and Ollie Casey would have enjoyed that and relished it, but it is a bit easier for them that a very experienced Premier League player is not in the fold today. So, of course, like last week, plenty of rain, pitch still in good condition, and Leeds will be trying to get the ball down, as Ben said. Charlie Cresswell going up now to go through the coin toss routine. Crystal Palace will get us underway. Rob Street is the man that's wearing the number 9 shirt. In fact, he's got confused by matters, and the referee lets him know. So Joe Gelhart is now the man that will take the kick-off. Third time of asking, making me look silly, Ben. First it was Palace, then it was Joe Gelhart, now it's Max McMillan, but referee just doing his last-minute checks. Expecting Max McMillan to lead the line in the number 9 shirt. Joe Gelhart's sitting a little bit behind in the number 10. And we are underway as McMillan goes to Jenkins. First match for a while between these two on Leeds' home patch. Last couple have been at Selhurst Park, as Leeds go from Cresswell out towards Niall Huggins. And Leif Davis played really well last time out at left back, and again it's good to see Huggins in the mix. He's been really, really impressive down the left-hand side of defence for Leeds. I know Ben has spoken about it a few times. It's a good interception midfield. Gelhart is chopped to the floor, and it will be another free kick. And Joe Gelhart is well aware of that this season. He's always been clipped every time he's played for the Whites. Didn't get to feature last time out, as picks up possession now. Hopefully that little break will have done him a little bit of good. He's been heavily involved. Leeds with a high press, with Huggins putting them under pressure. Palace look like they're lining up with just a one-man up front for now. That is the number 9 of Rob Street. Scott Banks perhaps just joining him a little later, maybe playing a 4-4-1-1. And just trying to identify, we were speaking before kick-off, Ben, about whether we thought Ollie Casey would play the holding midfield or whether it would be Noah Kenner, which again, good to see Noah Kenner recover from injury and he's back out there. At the moment, it's looking like Noah Kenner's playing the centre-half role.
Yeah, he is. He's at the centre-half side of Charlie Cresswell. You can see him there splitting nice and wide, splitting the box when the keeper gets the ball. Ollie Casey is playing a little bit deeper. Some people might say it's a kind of free at the back, but we just tried to have that overload, extra man in possession. There is Ollie Casey, can just give it out to Charlie Creswell, and that's just the kind of the key, having that role dropping in between the two centre halves, always having an option on the ball.
Palace concede. Conceded the throw-in, but the referee says that it went the other way. Palace get the call. Jude Russell knocking the ball back all the way towards the left-hand side for Noah Watson. Ball's hit Drame on the back, and Palace recover it. Street, but Drame intercepts. It was a very heavy touch from the Palace player. Drame's nifty footwork gets him out of trouble. Forward into Gelhardt, whose close control is very strong again. Just at the last second, he run into too many players, and good first touch though from Joe Gelhardt. Opened up his body, was ready to attack. I'm sure Palace will have done their homework on Leeds and tried to identify that as a potential threat. Dean under pressure. Gelhardt getting there as well. All the Leeds players in the faces very quickly of these Palace players, but a little free kick conceded. Nothing too strong, nothing too strenuous from Leeds. That's potential another pullback, and the referee does give advantage. Dean will be warned by that as the ball's played forward. Kenner intercepts by using his hand according to the official. And the referee gives Palace the call, and straight away Scott Banks has gone over to take it, so perhaps a start of what's to come. The referee, I think, is asking one of the Leeds players to come over. He does want a word with somebody, I think. No, Kenner is the player who wants to pull out. I'm a bit confused. I think he's trying to demonstrate to Noah Kenner that he made the foul in back play, but Noah Kenner was 30 yards behind the ball.
Yeah, a bit strange that. I'm sure the referee could have just gone over to him instead of dragging Noah Kenner out there, but it's a dangerous situation. You can see we've got a high line. The important thing here is being brave with that line. Don't drop in to play people on side. Communication's really key.
Yeah, referee's given Leeds' players the instructions, and McMillan is one of the furthest players forward. McKinstry is the man that's just alongside him, so it'll have to be a very quick counter. Rafinha played very far forward on the counter last week for Leeds as Banks gets prepared to take this ball towards the far post. Cresswell heads away. That's a good first touch from McMillan, gets him a little bit of space, and he's got pace to burn, and he's having his shirt pulled. And that's good work. Keeps the ball, nice and close control. And wins Leeds are throwing inside the Palace half, and good brave header as well, Ben, from Charlie Cresswell.
Yeah, that's how you defend the wide free kick. Great clearance from Charlie Creswell. That's his bread and butter, is that distance on the header. But what I like about Max McMillan there, looked after the ball, won a throw-in, got the team high up the pitch, and you just clear the danger by doing that.
Yeah, ball from midfield out to the left-hand side. Here is Huggins, great pass inside. Now a chance for Leeds to break forward. Into the box they come, little cutback. That's unlucky from Jack Jenkins. Speaking to Ben before the game about his direct runs from deep in midfield last week, really caught the eye. Could have got a goal or two. And that was another very well-timed run, Ben, into a good little spot. Just couldn't pull the pass back to another teammate, but 5 minutes in and still goalless, listening to LUTV, but a pleasant start between the two teams.
That's been a bright opening, like you said, from both teams. I think Jack Jenkins there, was just trying to work it onto his left-hand side. But you're right, I think that's part of his game, Tom Ways, trying to improve, getting forward into the box. You see him got the number 8 on his shirt, and always looking to the first team, which player plays in that position, and it's Mateus Click, and we spoke to him only a few days ago here on LUTV, and he was saying how he's just trying to like break forward, get into the box, affects the play up in the opposition kind of defensive third, our attacking part of the game, and that's the kind of work Jenkins needs to look in, because Click covers every part of the ground, and you can see early part of the season that's what Jack Jenkins has been trying to work on.
Yeah, fingers crossed he continues this bright start he's made. Drama's had a bright start to his Leeds career as well. He's got some defensive work to do, and he helps put the pressure on. Now Huggins with the interception. Huggins is just slightly clipped on the back of the ankle, so falls as the referee gives the free kick. Had a bit of work to do so far, the ref. Cresswell playing left centre half as usual. He can play both sides, but Ollie Casey in the number 4 shirt for now. As the ball goes down the line, into the box they come. Dean across the face of goal. It's a good ball. McKinstry's attacking it, tries to get towards goal and get there first, and the Palace defenders just about got a touch to it. Higgins inside to Casey. Here's Jenkins again. It's a really good searching ball out towards Drama. He's going to put his foot through it towards the near post, and it's gone in.
Great finish. And
it's cross from Drama. I think the Palace players turned it in, and Drama gets the celebrations. But a really good ball into the box, and Leeds United starting positively. They've got the first goal, and you can see what it means to them. All the players going across to the Leeds United number 2. Cody Drame's cross looked Bennett if it got a flick, but if it didn't, it's the ball into the box that's caused so much problems. Good height, good power, and it deserves a magic touch on the end.
Yeah, it did, and the good thing about this, look at the bodies in the box. Worked it out wide really well, and it was just... You can see Max McMillan making that darting run, trying to get across the near post, the little zone there. And like initially, I thought him who got the touch, but he forced the Palace defender into the mistake, turns into back of his own net. Great start for Leeds to be 1-0 up inside the opening 10 minutes.
Yeah, I think it was Noah Watson, the number 3, that's stuck out the left leg to try and get a touch to it. And unfortunately for him, he's got his bearings wrong, but it's good news for Leeds. And hopefully that settles them down. They can get into a bit of a groove as good battle between Casey and a Palace midfielder. It's out towards Banks. Here's Boateng down the right-hand side. Now Cresswell's got to get across, and it's a good touch from Charlie Cresswell. Looking more confident on the ball each week. And now Elia Capilla, another goalkeeper that's in the wings for Leeds and hoping to make his bound for the first team in the coming months. Had a good start to the 23s campaign. As Casey goes out to the left, here is Huggins. Not the best first touch, just gave the Palace player a little sight of the ball, and he's having his shirt pulled, so that is going to be a free kick. Sean Derry, the Palace coach, right in front of the referee, trying to give his players a bit of a G up, get them going again. Quick free kick taken. Huggins gets to the ball. And now they're going to try and come through out towards the left-hand side. That was Banks. In position they come. Shot comes in. Caprile tips it away. Down to his left. Had to try and palm it as far across goal as possible. A little bit too much space, Ben, for the Palace left winger.
Yeah, there was. And it all started with just a little quick free kick down in this right-hand side corner. But Eli Caprile there, just take no chances, palm it away, push away from danger. You see keepers sometimes trying to hold those kind of shots, have a little fumble, and it's an easy tap-in for the striker, but good concentration levels from the goalkeeper there.
Corner taken by Banks to the far post, and another good bit of work from the goalkeeper as Caprile balls the ball out towards Gelhardt. It's not the greatest pass, but it's the intention behind it, trying to get Leeds on the attack straight away. Cresswell to Huggins. Casey's come short, and Leeds getting a bit more time on the ball. There's pressure from Palace is not as intense as perhaps we've seen other teams against Leeds this season. Certainly not in Leeds' half inside the first 10 minutes as Jenkins to Drame. Down the right comes Dean. He's in a good bit of space as well. Now the cutback looking for McKinstry or McMillan. Gets the pass cleared away by a Palace defender, but another great run from Dean, Ben. That's a couple of times that Leeds have got in space down that little right edge.
Yeah, it is, but the movement off the ball is so good to see. The interaction, the switching of positions is so good.
Yeah, Huggins tries to work a 1-2 with McKinstry, and he's not too far away from doing so. Kind of to Drame. Dean was on his way again. Not used this time though. Here is Casey. Plays it to Cresswell. Again, no Palace pressure. Putting a lot of bodies behind the ball. Two lines of at least 4 players, and Leeds managed to get the throw in. Higgins with the ball in hand. He's got Gelhardt coming short. He's got McKinstry behind. Jenkins has come further up the line. Kenner's pass is behind Drame, but he's quick enough to react. Surprised, Ben, by the tactics from Palace?
I just think they're caught in between whether to go press or sit off, as they're not doing either, and it's really giving us plenty of space in the kind of midfield areas.
Yeah, they've managed to win the ball back here and keep possession. They've gone for a ball over the top, and that's not a bad idea from today's visitors, Crystal Palace. Leeds have recovered well, though. It might have been a bit of a scrambling effort, but it was good. Cresswell again with Huggins. Beautiful play from Leeds, all nice and composed as Huggins. He's got options. McMillan made one run, Gelhardt made the other, but he just turns it inside to Jenkins. Return, plays it out to Drame. He just can't adjust his body, and he apologises. He feels it was a good enough pass from Jack Jenkins, and I don't think there was much wrong with it myself either. But yeah, I just, from Palace's point of view, Ben, I just wondered if they would maybe regret the decision. If it was 0-0, maybe I'd understand the 2 lines of 8, 8 or 9 players, try to cover that box. But at 1-0 down, they are going to have to start opening up eventually.
Yeah, they will do. I'm sure as the game goes on, they just get a little bit of confidence in terms of trying to break forward on the counter attack. But from the team setup, you're kind of right. You look at their manager, Sean Derry. We all know him from his Leeds days. Always give 110%. And I just thought that's how he set his team up today, giving loads of effort. But you can see these areas, they don't know whether to go press. When they do, we can turn at ease like that.
Yeah, Gelhardt turns, goes for goal. The keeper just down his throat. He managed to just jump up a little higher, did Ollie Webber. And Joe Gelhardt, like he's done so many times this season for Leeds' 23s, close control, turns his marker. He prefers it when markers get too tight to him because he just spins them, makes it look so easy. And one of those shots where he probably hit it too cleanly, just straight at it. If he'd have sliced it a little bit, I think the keeper would have been in a lot more trouble. Cresswell. Street has gone down. Referee's given nothing on the last 2 times the Palace player has gone down. He's trying to play a bit more of an open game now. Gelhardt is clipped, and again the referee says the ball was won. Palace player has booted this out, and that's because Rob Street has stayed down after that incident with Charlie Cresswell, so fingers crossed he's okay. He does look in a bit of pain. It was a big leap, and he fell on the floor in a heap while Cresswell carried on. But Leeds' players come across, get their drinks on board. And what has been a decent start, 15 minutes in?
Yeah, it's been bright. I think since we got the goal, went 1-0 up, it's probably just been a little bit scrappy maybe the game. It probably kind of suits us this break now, just like get a little drink on board. A couple of messages from Mark Jackson and the rest of the coaching staff as well. And then when we get back going, get into a nice rhythm again. So the key is if Crystal Palace start going to pressers, which we thought they might have done, move the ball quick, and we have done that at times. But always just have that in back of your mind on the transition. If we do give the ball away, be careful of the counter attack because they are set up for that. Crystal Palace got some pace in the wide areas, pace going forward. But that man in picture there, Ollie Casey, number 4 on his back, he'll have a big role to play about that, just snuffing out the danger, because we know as fullbacks they'll always join in when we have the ball. So it's up to Ollie Casey, knowing Kenner, Charlie Cresswell, those 3, just to fill in those gaps, get into right positions. You can just see knowing Kenner, Ollie Casey having just a little chat there. But no, it's been a bright start. I think from Mark Jackson's point of view, can you go get a second, can you get a third, put the game to bed sooner rather than later.
Yeah, fingers crossed that's the case, and the Palace player looks good to continue. You want to see anybody having to go off injured, and Leeds are just waiting for the ball to be passed back to them. Leeds give it back to Palace because they did have possession when they knocked the ball out of play. If you are just tuning in to LUTV's coverage, it was an own goal, we believe, from Noah Watson. Great ball in from Cody Drame, turned in by the Palace man. There is Casey back to Drame again, and he looks further down the line. Could have carried it a bit, but instead decides to go back to Max Dean. Jenkins was asking for the pass to Cresswell, and it does come. Huggins goes past his man, now into a bit of space, just been nudged off the ball. Has a little look at the referee. Jenkins' pass is rushed. It's up to Street now. Palace keep possession. Brandon Pierrick worked out to the left-hand side. Jenkins has just lost the ball in the path of the ball. Been a bit of wind on it, bit of spin. Didn't really matter though. He's managed to recover, and it's with Cresswell once more. And again, he's got time to pick his pass to Huggins. A rare poor touch from Joe Gelhardt, but Palace's midfielder's not going to be able to get to that. And that was Sam Woods. Kind of just stands off his man. Really good interception. And hopefully a run in the team for Noah Kenner. Has been out injured. Back in the fold. Drame goes down the right, intercepted by Watson. Kind of comes across. That was Street's header. Big centre forward is the Palace player, and they'll look to use his power and strength as Jenkins again nips in. Great bit of speed and awareness to get to the ball, as Huggins probably wants an overlapping runner, but of course him being the left back is he's asking a bit much. He has to just slow it down a bit, go to McKinstry. Good movement again from Leeds. Drame can't bring it under control. Max Dean will be able to. Back to Drame again. He's going to put his foot through it. Another good ball into Watson. This time he headers it the right way. KC midfield. It's going to fall to Gelhardt. Drame back to Gelhardt again. Into the box he comes. This is where he's dangerous. Trying to find a way through. Ball hits Watson. He's been very busy as Noah Watson in the Palace box. And it's now back to Noah Kenner again. But Leeds are certainly looking very confident on the ball. It's an attack versus defence sort of training session in the first 20 minutes. Palace have offered very little going forward. Capel with the one save as McKinstry beaten to it. What I will say about Palace is that they're defending pretty well. Advantage given as Cresswell comes forward. Somehow gets the ball out to Gelhardt. Gelhardt flicks it down the line to Huggins. Makes that pass look incredibly easy. Perfectly weighted from Joe Gelhardt. Here is Huggins again. He looks into the box towards the far post. Dean jumps up. And again, it was the Palace left back Noah Watson that gets in his way and just puts him off. And it remains at 1-0, Ben.
Yeah, it does, but some of the attacking play is really good to see. Bodies getting forward, keeping the ball at ease. See Joe Gelhardt is wrapping passes into people, then he's making the little third man runs off the ball, overlapping. For Crystal Palace, every time they clear the ball, we're on to the second ball straight away, so they just can't get out with their own defensive third at the moment. Keep the pressure on when it's like that.
Cresswell lets that go for a throw and takes it very quickly to Noah Kenner. Kenner out to Drame on the right. Maybe a bit of space for him to work, and he's going to try and use that a little bit. Dean's on the overlap. He uses him as a decoy. Now will he bring him into the game? He keeps going. He's into the box. McMillan just wanted it a bit more space to try and pull the trigger. Now into the box. Drame puts the cross in. He's deflected behind for a corner, and he's having a good game out there, Cody Drame, Ben.
I think it's the first time I've seen him so far forward. We've mentioned quite a few times this season about his 1v1 defending, which I think has been absolutely superb. And the key for his game, can you get forward and affect the game at the other end? And so far, in the first 20-21 minutes of this match, he's been out outlet ball on that right hand side, some really dangerous positions. Obviously he put the cross in, which led to the own goal. And for Crystal Palace, they're just leaving him unmarked, and keep doing that, keep feeding him the ball, because he's got the quality to pick people out in the box.
McKinstry has gone across to take this. Floats the ball towards the far post. Cresswell's lurking. Palace head it clear. It's a good header as well. Jenkins puts his heading where it hurts. There's been an incident here. Cresswell's clashed heads with one of the Palace players, and looks like it's the number 6 of Jerich Bagaloo, I believe, maybe. Either player. Cresswell is in some discomfort. The Palace player as well. So fingers crossed they're both okay to continue. Yeah, It does look like it was Bagaloo that's jumped up, just been hit in the back of the head by Cresswell, so it's going to be a sore one. And we are going to have yet another break in play in this game, so still Leeds 1, Crystal Palace 0. Noah Watson's goal, the difference between the two teams. If you're just sitting down on this Sunday afternoon to watch our coverage, Drame's cross, Noah Watson turning it in, and Leeds on their way at the moment to back-to-back wins after beating Norwich. They have 3 wins in 4, and are 3rd in the table, and it's looking pretty positive so far as Cresswell comes across. Just what you need when you've banged your head is another talking to off your coach. Just leave me alone, please.
Gives enough headaches out, does Mark Jackson.
Yeah, good to see Cresswell. He's ready to go straight back on, or is he going to have to be assessed a little further? The Palace player. Good to see he is now sitting up, and was always going to hurt that. 2 very brave efforts from both, and referee just making sure everything's okay, assessing the pair. Now wants the ball back for the restart. Just trying to give the instructions out. Sun's in the Palace keeper's eyes. Leeds might try and target that before the end of this first half. Let's both players make their way back onto the field as Palace goes straight over the top. Cresswell out, no, and Kenner gets a touch to it. Elia Caprillo comes flying off his line. Now here is Palace into the box. Kenner gets another touch to it. Referee says nothing in the little nudge, and Noah Kenner just pats the number 11 on the back, Brandon Pierrick. That's a good little tussle that between the two. And Kenner just every time got a little touch to the ball, just faint enough to get it away from him, and he couldn't set his targets on goal as Jenkins. That's lovely play, good touch. Rather than panic, looks up and sees his options. He's trying to get forward now to help out Gelhardt. Great turn from Joe Gelhardt once more. And now Drame to Dean. Dean's first touch isn't the best, but Leeds still win the throw-in. Referee's just telling Drame to wait, and that'll be because I don't think the Palace player is fit to continue. A bit of confusion because that was the number of Jude Russell. Unless he's been pulled off, well, he's been taken off, and he wasn't the player that went down injured, Ben. So perhaps a change of things. So Jude Russell is off, and Cian Flanagan is on. And from seeing Flanagan in the past, he has played in midfield. I think the game is back underway, so Leeds are trying to take full advantage as Palace get their players back onto the pitch. There's an effort towards the far post, and Dean lobs it towards the far top corner, and it hits the roof of the net. So just wondering if there's a change in system here for Palace in terms of Watson going into centre half and someone else going left back, because Flanagan has played centre mid for the last few games I've seen him. And Sean Derry not happy with what he's seen. And a big risk, because if your other centre half was the one that got injured with a head knock, then putting a lot of faith in him.
Well, clearly Sean Derry's been watching the best manager in the world in Marcelo Bielsa and making changes within the first half. If he's seen something's not going right, it's more than in his own right to make that change. So whether they're just trying to get more bodies in that kind of midfield area, just because we're getting so much joy. Jack Jenkins is running the show in there today, but we've still got the space out wide. See McKinstry here. Yeah,
McKinstry into Huggins. He's got a couple of Leeds players in the box towards the near post. It's turned away, and it will be a Leeds corner. And I was just about to make that point that the first thing Flanagan went and did was put pressure on Leeds, and I think it was Jenkins that he tried to push off the ball. So they're not trying to let Leeds settle.
But again, if they're having more bodies in the midfield area, Crystal Palace keep using the width. Mentioned Cody Drame there. He's always an option on the right, as is Huggins and McKinstry on the left-hand side as well.
Yeah, it's now with McKinstry. A couple of runners towards the near post. It's now floated towards the far. Cresswell just can't head it back into the box. He's got Jenkins behind him if he wants to use him, but Cresswell's going to go on an ambitious run. It's a good ball into the area as well, looking for his centre-back partner, and then Casey goes for goal. And Ollie Casey, rather embarrassingly, clears the cage behind the net at Thorp Arch, which is some feat. It's decent height on that is that cage, Ben, but I'm sure they'll be having a little joke about that in the highlights and review.
Well, I think the game's gone, to be honest, Tom. You see one centre-half on the right wing, thinking is a tricky right winger, puts the ball into the box, and then the other centre-half, albeit playing holding midfield, tries a volley from edge of the box.
Yeah, Casey has got this goal-scoring desire since he played Reading a couple of weeks ago. He had a great shot from the edge of the box, he had a couple last week. Confidence is growing as Leeds win a throw-in level with the edge of the box. Still the only goal coming from a Palace deflection, which Leeds will take. It's a tough game this. Palace's academy is successful. There's been some great players come through the ranks in the recent years. Ken's got to be quick here to get to it. It's a good job because Brandon Pierrick was all over him, and kind of gets it back from right back Cody Drame. Now he tries to spin the ball out to the left. It's a very good ball out towards Huggins. He's got Gelhardt just about on the edge of the box, but no clear route to pass him the ball, so he has to keep it. It's back to Cresswell. Cresswell inside to Kenner. Dean's pass will find Drame. Had enough spin on it and not enough power, so it gets there. And again, Leeds just a bit of passing practice for them, really. Such as the lack of pressure from Palace, but the pressure once they get into the final third is intense, and they've put the tackle in there. And that's the number 10, Scott Banks. He concedes the corner, but I mean, Scott Banks was one of the scorers, as I mentioned, against Wolves last time out in the 2-1 win, and he was playing it right back then to try and defend Leeds. So that they're forcing the number 10 back. It's all hands on deck, and I think Crystal Palace are coming here with the intention to counter when they can. That's exactly why Ben said if Leeds can get a second, then it changes the flow of the game even more. There's not as much pressure on Leeds should they be countered. As McKinstry goes near post this time, it's headed up and away. Cresswell perhaps just checking the left boot, not sure if he was trod on, as Jenkins got a bit ambitious there in midfield. All the strength work was good, but he tries a flick and runs straight into trouble. Now Cresswell trying to put pressure on the new man onto the pitch is Cian Flanagan, and Flanagan's strong. And Jenkins goes back and makes amends for his error, and now McKinstry plays the ball back to him. Jenkins down the line, and Leeds win the throw-in, and Mark Jackson, bit of an applause, and then just tell everyone to calm down. But that's what you want to see, Ben. I mean, we've seen so many, last 3 seasons we've done this, and we've seen so many players come through the ranks and try fancy flicks, and they've come off, and I have no problem with the Leeds youth players trying that. If it doesn't work, then go try and win it back. And Jack Jenkins just, put his head down, apologised, said sorry by winning it back, and then getting a throw-in.
We saw Mike Jackson's reaction as we just lose the ball there and just high up the pitch, but Drame in the right position to win the ball back. But going back to Mike Jackson's reaction, he loved it just because there was 4 bodies chasing after the ball. Fantastic to see.
Yeah, Dean into Gelhardt. Gelhardt was just a fraction too slow to have the shot towards goal. Got to praise the pressurising because they were on him very quickly. Took one touch and went for goal, and was unlucky there, Joe Gelhardt. As Jenkins again. To Cresswell. Cresswell's on his way forward. He's got Huggins on the left. He might try and work his way into the box. Cresswell did have a look over his shoulder to say that's where he was going to be going. Into the box. He was looking for McMillan. Dean gets a touch to it. The Palace team stopping their tracks. The referee gives a free kick, and that's good play from Jeric Bagaloo. Wins inside the free kick, and more of a chance just to reset themselves. Leeds get back into their shape. McMillan up front. Sam Greenwood still recovering from his injury, hoping to return in the coming weeks. McMillan will fill that void, and he's a player that's got a bright future himself. Done very well for the 18s, and will hope for a couple of goals just to put himself in that picture for the starting spot if Matt Jackson wants to use him there. Kinstry to Kenner. Kenner goes forward, and a bit ambitious that pass, and it will go straight back into the hands of the Palace keeper Ollie Webber. Ball on top, and Nolan Kenner's having a decent game. Ben, there's a few Leeds defenders out there that have enjoyed themselves. I mean, the pressure hasn't been exactly intense, has it, from Palace? They've not been stretched too many times, Leeds, but what Noah Ken has done has been very effective so far.
Yeah, and the hardest thing when you come back after a long injury layoff is the concentration levels, but he's been good, won some good duels 1v1.
Oh, great ball from Huggins to find McKinstry. He's turned inside his man. Now McKinstry onto his right foot, goes for goal. Keeper saves. It was Webber that just about got a touch to it, and I don't think you can complain at Stuart McKinstry for going for goal there. He'd done all the hard work, and it opened up nicely for him. I think he probably was hoping to disguise it a bit better than he did. And then in back play, Cresswell has just given Street a nudge, and it is a Palace free kick. But good work again from Stuart McKinstry. I mean, he started the first 4 or 5 games, Ben, playing number 10, and we've said that, well, while he probably can play there, we've seen him most effective down the flanks, but it's left midfield for me that he excels at the best.
Yeah, I think he enjoys that position the most as well, cutting onto his strong right foot. You say that the finish just telegraphed the keeper, easy save in the end, but you're just good to test the keeper out.
Keeper did his job, and Capil does another job for Leeds as he plays it to Cresswell, and Cresswell waits for the runner to commit, but his pass is wayward, and there again on hand for Palace just to try and quicken things up for them. Casey's little pass down the line is cleared away by Street, and it's going to be Huggins with the ball. Running too quickly, but Jenkins is the closest, and it's in the middle of the park anyway as McKinstry gets it now. It should be a Palace throw-in. That ball should have gone to Cresswell a bit quicker from Stuart McKinstry. We're hoping they're not punished here. They still have that goal advantage. Casey's turned by Flanagan. He's very strong, his game. Flanagan, Joe Gelhardt though gets the tackle. Flanagan's got a chance. Leeds scrambling across. Dean, a couple of others. Cresswell as well. Kenner's going to get in there, and Leeds do enough to stop him in his tracks. But Kim Flanagan, a bit older than some of the rest of the Palace 23's players. Very, very strong. They have to try and stop him from getting the ball, Ben, because he's only been on for a few moments, but what he has done every time has been pretty effective.
He has had a positive impact in the performance of Crystal Palace. Seems to really grab the game by the scruff of the neck from their point of view, driving them forward.
Yeah, he's out now towards the right-hand side. David Boateng inside to Sam Wood. Here is Flanagan. Wood's out towards the right. This time it is with Scott Banks. Cresswell a little bit out of position, just trying to cover. Now Huggins picks the ball away from Flanagan. Can only clear it as far as the dugout. McKinstry, good interception up to McMillan. Leeds have got a potential counter-attack on their hands here as it's over the left-hand side. McKinstry's got the defender coming across. That's good defending from Palace, but equally the movement from Leeds again. Everyone sort of knew their job bent. Quick short pass inside. Get on the left-hand side, get McKinstry in behind and win a throw-in. And I think you made the point. 7 or 8 minutes in, the movement was what had caught your eye, and it continues to impress this season. Again, that movement from Gelhardt once more. Here is Kenner. Drame. Dean had just come off the left edge as the ball, it clips the crossbar. Drame again causing so many problems. Another good ball in. His original cross got the Leeds the first goal, and this time they are going to try and hook it clear, and it a little bit rushed. Kind of goes through the back of the Palace player, who hits the floor in frustration. He feels he should have got a free kick. That was an awkward bounce for Noah Kenner, and here is Jenkins once more. Cresswell. Jenkins takes it away from a teammate. I'm not sure it was going to get to them. And again, the pressure's good from Jenkins. Wins his side of throwing. It's a good run from Niall Huggins. Now Huggins into the box. Tries to go past his man. It was the right thing to do. That little touch would have got him into a bit more space to go for goal, but he's just kicked it straight out of play. And perhaps the one thing we've not seen from Niall Huggins is the run, runs in behind. I think you've got to credit the Palace defending though, because they've minimised that free space in behind them, Ben. And it's not as easy for an overlapping left back as perhaps he found it against Reading a couple of weeks ago. He's now played in Gelhardt. Gelhardt's going to run straight at the heart of the Palace defence. It's a Very strong tackle. Referee says nothing for either side, and now Woods hooks it down the line. Kenner again. And it's a good tussle this between the two teams as Dean once more tries to thread it through the gap to Millen. Cleared away only as far as Brandon Pierrick. He's running straight at the defence. It's a ball across. There comes Casey. And Elia Capril gets to the ball. And I must say, I think the scrambling defence has been good from both teams. Cabril's clearance is poor though, and it goes straight to Flanagan, who thankfully for Leeds smashes it straight over the bar. 10 minutes to go, Ben. You still happy with the performance so far?
Yeah, I am. Obviously, we're the most dominant team in the game. Just last few minutes has been a bit end-to-end kind of stuff, which obviously Mike Jackson wouldn't prefer it being like that. But Ollie Casey, that's why he's played in that position, home midfield, just snuffing out the danger. What I would say is, when we are on top, can we just be clinical going forward? The only thing the performance hasn't really had is just testing the goalkeeper, having shots on target.
Yeah, Huggins tries to go across for Dean. He apologises, he's not happy with his pass. Yeah, I think it's a good point you make, Ben. I think the game has lacked is a bit more action for both keepers. Like Aprilla's made one save, Webber's made another. Apart from that, Leeds got the ball in the back of the net, and it was this man that scored the own goal, Watson. Kenner's got to be quick here. Got to watch the run off. Street, it's into Flanagan. Casey stalking him, trying to force him wide. He's got Drame on his inside. Good tackle from Ollie Casey. There is Kenner. Jenkins needs a shout. He's quick enough to get it back towards Elia Caprilli, who's asking for width from his centre-backs. Second pass in succession is played back to Paris. Elia Caprilli. That pass was a bit more ambitious though. The first one was something he should have done a bit better with. Into the final 7 or 8 minutes. That's a poor pass from Palace. Huggins with Gelhardt. Good feet again from Gelhardt. Back to Huggins. Leeds get the tackle from Woods. It's into McKinstry. Here's Jenkins once more. To try and find Casey, but instead it goes to Noah and Kenner. It still gets Leeds on their way down the right-hand side. Drame's ball to Dean. Dean stopped in the tackle. A very good one as well. It's Reece Hannon that's got the tackle on that far side. Now Gelhardt and Jenkins will try and offer Drame a different angle. It is Jenkins that gets it. As Ben said, he is running midfield at the moment. Continues to keep Leeds ticking from right to left, vice versa. Here is Cresswell to McKinstry. Lovely ball inside to Huggins. Huggins waits for the tackle, gets past his man. Now into the box he comes. And the pass was a bit easy to read again from McMillan. Leeds only having one striker. Palace a man marking him, and I do wonder if Leeds perhaps could do with a second body in there. Joe Gelhardt was on the edge once more. Here is Flanagan trying to outmuscle Noah Kennett. Drame again. Some of the close control from Leeds today has been really impressive once more. Cresswell to McKinstry to Huggins. He's going to have two for company if he tries to make a run forward. So he swings the ball into the box. Not the best clearance, and Leeds nearly dive on it. Eventually hook clear down the line, but Cresswell should be there to retrieve it, and he is. Now trying to step over Charlie Cresswell. Not the best pass to McKinstry. McKinstry's going to get carded here. You'd feel it's a sloppy tackle down the ankle of Rob Street, and the card is going to come out, and he can have no complaints there, Ben.
Yeah, it's a blatant yellow card, just stemmed from his first poor touch. But I have to say, the concentration levels from a defensive point of view have been excellent. Just filling gaps, putting out the fires, mentioning all the Casey in that kind of role. If Charlie Cresswell's going forward, like we've seen him do a number of times, it's up to his role and responsibility to fill in that kind of gap. He's done that superbly. So you can just see the work that goes at the training ground, filling in for people's positions. Communication as well is key as the game goes on. But the team effort as well, give the ball away, hunting down in packs, winning it back. And I'm sure Mike Jackson will be pleased with that aspect, because defensively, been really good and solid so far.
Kenner out to the right. Dean looking for Drames. It stayed in. Just about. This time it's hit Drame and gone out for a Palace throw-in to the final few minutes of this first half. Palace players will have to take this throw-in again. Pierrick's got in behind. Kenner steps up. Referee says that Kenner clipped his man. It will be a free kick. The wind not helping Palace there. First with the last pass and the first throw in, but taking it quickly. I think Pierrick is one of Palace's players to watch. He has looked sharp whenever he's got the ball at his feet. Hasn't been a common thing, but every time he has, Leeds have had to be really switched on, as that ball is really, really well played into the feet of Niall Huggins. Leeds on the attack once again. Tries to play it inside. Jenkins, will he be quick enough to have a shot? Huggins goes down. Jenkins gets caught on the ball. He needed a bit of width, and everyone in front of him in a Leeds shirt was incredibly narrow. And now Leeds have to get back because Palace are piling forward. It's in towards Banks. Casey's beaten. Banks is going to come into the box. Leeds has to cover the near post. Banks comes across. It's hit Kennett. Will it fall in? Good block. Really good block. I think it's Charlie Cresswell, Ben, that's got the last touch to it. And you just said concentration. I just thought for a split second it was switched off there, because for the first time I don't know why Leeds went so narrow in attack. And then obviously Niall Huggins is going to be far at the pitch. He's an attacking fullback, but they were very stretched in numbers. Casey was out of position. No, and Kennett, I think it might have been Kennett that got a touch instead of Cresswell, Ben.
It was the first time Crystal Palace though had a major threat going forward, but as you mentioned, people throwing the body on the line. Doesn't matter who gets the block, more importantly someone was there to make it.
The ball not the best taken corner, put clear by Huggins, only as far as halfway where David Boateng is stood for Palace. Goes straight back across to the corner taker, which is Hanneman. It's not the best ball in. Leeds should recover, as here comes Cody Drame again. Much great awareness from him. He's given the ball away. First bit of good plays messed up with the second as the ball comes in with Banks. He goes for the really powerful drive, and he's put far too much power on that. And Leeds just need this half-time interval. The last couple of minutes, Palace just threatened, and fingers crossed they don't concede, because it would spoil Mark Jackson's team talk.
It certainly would. But all it has been the last couple of minutes in terms of people just making sloppy individual errors. Crystal Palace are just getting a bit of confidence from that, and finishing the half stronger the teams at the moment.
Yeah, ball comes forward with David Boateng into the box. Drame has to stay really quick and composed, and he has to get across, and he does that, and Capriel dives on the ball. He had to make his call early there, Cody Drame. Does he stay on his feet or does he go to ground? He chose the latter. It worked. Now Cresswell goes out to Noah Kennett. Back to Drame. Can Leeds end the first half on a high and get a second goal? Down the line, it's a good ball. Into the box, looking for Dean, headed away by Palace. Back to Hannum. That ball's going to stay in play. Drame once more. Nobody in the middle for Leeds making a run just yet. It's fallen to Gallagher, who again will try and take a few players with him. Into Dean. Nearly finds its way to McMillan. Dean's going to try and pick up the scraps and go into the box. He's still wrestling with it. Can he get a corner? He can. Really good, tenacious work from Max Dean, and he gets a set piece for Leeds.
Every time I've seen Max Dean so far this season, really just love his enthusiasm. Never gives anything up, and just that endeavour's won a corner right at the death of the first half. So can just put into a good area. You know, we've got the height, Charlie Cresswell, Ollie Casey, and Kenner's up there. I just want to put in, like I say, a decent area. Let those guys go attack it.
Yeah, hopefully a good delivery into stoppage time. Cresswell's been marked by Woods. They've lost him for a second. It's floated towards the near opponent. It is towards Dean. Is that handball? It looked like a clear ball. The referee looking across, the linesman will flag, and it is a penalty to Leeds. He took his time. Well, the Palace players are going across to try and protest that, but it certainly took a wicked deflection. It was Dean with the header at the near post. Lovely ball in. Oh, such power and venom on it. And the referee wasn't interested, Ben. His linesman was, and now he's going over to have a word. So get the replay here. Dean, I think it just smacks the left palm of Scott Banks.
And his hands are in an unnatural position, so It's a good call from the linesman. Obviously, the referee's going over to have a talk with him. And if it has hit his hand, which by look of the first replay it has, I don't know where the argument from the Crystal Palace players are coming from, because it's a handball. His hand shouldn't be in that position. So we mentioned about, can you put the ball into a good area? We did that from the corner. Never thought we'd get a penalty kick from that situation, as the referee's still talking with the linesman. But it's a good call from linesman. He's seen it nice and clear. And from a Palace point of view, they've got no argument, surely, because, like I said, his hands are in an unnatural position and it struck the hands. It's a great chance to go 2-0 up at half-time here.
Yeah, it's rather coincidental that David Boateng's socks need tying on the penalty spot. Joe Gallagher's not interested. He's now pushed him away and he's picked the ball up. He's not allowing him to try and tamper with the penalty spot in any way. What are the chances, Ben, that his socks need pulling up there? Doing all he can. He's now trying to get into a referee's mind. He's trying to put the pressure on, but it is going to be Joe Gallagher who straight away, once this penalty was awarded, put the ball in his hand. It's all got a bit heated out there. The Leeds players try to get on with things. Palace's players are doing nothing but moan, but shows how much it means to them. An important goal this, and a very important time if they can get it. Again, the referee stopped the matters and Gallagher picks the ball up and just resets himself. It is going to be Joe Gallagher against Ollie Webber, the Palace keeper. With what could well be the last kick of the first half. Up steps Gallagher, sends the keeper the wrong way. Powerful penalty, and Joe Gallagher gets his name on the score sheets just before the break. Leeds United 2, Crystal Palace 0.
You can just see there Charlie Creswell and Gallagher having a little laugh and a little joke, because going off away from the referee and the linesman when they was having a little talk with the Crystal Palace players. I think Charlie Creswell was trying to take the penalty, try and grab the ball, but Joe Gallagher, number 10 on his back, done the right thing, took it off Charlie Creswell, sends the keeper the wrong way, and a perfect finish to end the half.
Yeah, powerful. Kept it nice and low. And the keeper nowhere near it, and the referee will get this game back underway. Has a quick look at his watch, and of course if he did want to give a few minutes of stoppage time, which he probably will have done with the couple of injuries we had. And now the ball, Ken, has been turned by Street. Leeds have to be careful here. The old cliche goes, the worst time to concede is when you're most vulnerable straight after you've scored yourself. And Leeds do well, put the pressure on. Cresswell gets the late touch and Gabriel can get on the ball and roll it to him. Cresswell nearly forgets it, and Leeds now at this stage of the game would love the half-time interval. Get into the changing room, get the instructions from Mark Jackson, and hopefully kick on what has been a competitive PL2 Division 2. Leeds have adapted well every week as Cresswell comes forward, runs into trouble. The two Palace players go down. And now Jenkins comes across. He has to be brave here, Jenkins, and he is. And he gets thrown to the floor. And Jack Jenkins does the right thing, doesn't react. A couple of Palace players putting their bodies into the tackle, making sure their presence is felt, and Jenkins just rolled up his socks, gets up, carries on. And it could well be a very fierce second half. Palace might have to change their tactics. Deep into stoppage time now. Watson lets it bounce. The referee now does bring the first half to an end. So a good first half for Leeds United. Noah Watson's own goal from a Cody Dramé cross set them on their way, and then on the stroke of half-time, Joe Gallagher converted the penalty. So a good first half, hopefully more of the same in the second. Join us in around 15 minutes' time.
Leeds United women advance in the Vitality FA Cup after defeating fellow Division 1 North side Stockport County. Second half strikes from Holly Finlay and Olivia Smart secured Leeds' place in the third qualifying round where they travelled to Barnsley. Stockport quickly gained control of the game though and went on to dominate the first half. Maria Figueiredo forced Leeds keeper Kirsty Johnson into a fine double save. Leeds started the second half on top and were awarded a penalty on 55 minutes when the ball struck the hand of Levi Chambers-Cook. Laura Bartup stepped up but saw her efforts saved brilliantly by Jess Linford. The visitors didn't let that affect them and broke the deadlock 5 minutes later through a stunning half volley from Holly Finlay. Leeds made it 2-0 on 78 minutes. Olivia Smart's free kick from the left touchline sailed over Linford and into the back of the net. Abby Brown came close to making it 3 with a powerful shot from the edge of the box, but it whistled just wide of the post. Full time, Stockport County 0, Leeds United women 2.
A game of two halves really. Thought we battled really hard for staff. They had a lot of possession, but defensively we were solid, and that set the platform for us to, play with a win second half, and we could have scored 4 or 5 goals to be honest. These are a tough team to beat, very physical, but we stood the pressure for staff, and then second half, that's it. Would have been 4 or 5, so highly delighted.
I weren't really expecting the ball. I think it was a deflection, and then it just ended up at my feet. So I thought, right, why not give it a go? Went in. Kept
the same shape. We made one change at half time, a little bit more legs in midfield. But apart from that, we're becoming very hard to beat and to score against them. We've conceded 2 goals in 4 games. One of them were a penalty. And I thought defensively we looked really solid today.
Yeah, just sort of keep a girl like that. She had sun in her eyes, so I thought, top bins, I'll go for it. But yeah, free kicks are all right. I mean, we missed a penalty and we should have really scored that, but we were unlucky not to score more, to be fair. We just need to take more of our chances, but I think as a performance defensively we were solid and we rode out a storm. Stockport played well in the first 45 and I think the weather did it a bit of an injustice in the first half. They played some good football, but it's a clean sheet and it's a nice win.
Whether we're in a stadium or not, there's no room for racism. Not out there, not in here. There's no room for racism. No room for racism. Anywhere.
Take a knee. They kneel in unity.
But without actions,
Genuinely powerful sight.
There are just words. There's no room for ignorance or intolerance, for hate, for injustice, for sitting in silence, for doing nothing.
I'm ashamed, I'm embarrassed. We want equality in society and football.
We all need to do more. Challenge it.
The CCTV will find the perpetrator of that and he will have a lifetime ban.
Report it. Change it. Premier League. No room for racism. Anywhere.
Albert Johanneson, a man who made history at Leeds United and whose impact on and off the pitch would be felt for decades.
For a period of time, Albert Johanneson was a very, very good player for Leeds United.
Don Revie's first signing as manager and the second black player to represent the club after fellow South African Jerry Francis in 1957.
When he came to the club, it was a breath of fresh air, I think, for Don Revie to get somebody like that in.
Well, Albert was a very, very good winger, very quick.
When he first came to the club, he was very hesitant to even go on the bus because he came from a place where apartheid was very strong, and it took him a while just to get used to it.
When we're in the second division, Bobby used to pick the ball up and Albert used to set off and he used to go ping.
And he'd be clear of defenders, getting balls across the box, scored a lot of important goals.
One of his goals late in the season, we needed a win against Newcastle, went around the goalkeeper and scored what was a vital goal to get Leeds to Division 1 and changed the history of the club.
Albert was a main part in us getting out of the second division and staying in there.
It's a shame with Albert Johanneson that his best season was in Division 2. He was the top scorer when Leeds won promotion.
When I was young, he was always one of the players that you'd go to the game and you'd be looking forward to watching Albert Johanneson play for Leeds United.
Johanneson would also help the club reach the FA Cup final for the first time in 1965 and will become the first black player to ever feature in the showpiece match.
I don't think that any Leeds United fan will ever forget what he done for Leeds United and how he helped them become the team they were under Don Revie.
If you ask me about Albert himself, you know, Albert was probably the generation before the generation that I looked up to, the likes of Cyril Regis and Laurie Cunningham, and perhaps he was the one who they looked up to. So from that point of view, he's a very important figure in the game, for, you know, for black players.
Albert sadly passed away in 1995, aged just 55. Johannesson's impact on the club, the city and football will never be forgotten.
We come in here to dominate and to win a game.
And it comes out, and it's there! And Patrick Bamford follows up to score for Leeds United. To Bamford, Bamford's in the D. Bamford turns goalwards, he has a shot! Oh yes! Terrific goal from Patrick Bamford! How about that one? Still Patrick Bamford. Oh yes! What a way to get your hat-trick! That is truly magnificent football from Leeds United.
Right-footed shot, goal! Leeds take the lead, and Andes, wonderful goal!
Marching on together. We are Premier League. Be ready for Leeds. Join the journey. Welcome, JD.
Well, it was a different game back then. The question is, Tim, are Leeds ready to return? Has it been too long?
So Leeds, how's your football team doing?
The big leagues aren't ready for Leeds, man. They aren't ready for Leeds, man.
Well, here I am at Ellen Road as they get ready to welcome back top flight football for the first time in 16 years.
Well, here we go then. Leeds United is about more than football. It's about the culture. It's about loyalty. It's like the song says, it stays with you forever. The pride in putting on that jersey, playing for the city and its people. That's why I always tell off my second home, Leeds United!
Welcome back then to LUTV's coverage of this Premier League 2 clash between Leeds United and Crystal Palace at Thorp Arch. Leeds have a 2-goal cushion as you rejoin us for the start of this second 45 minutes. At the moment, we don't believe there's been any subs. Of course, we'll double check that for you as and when we spot them. But Crystal Palace conceding in the 8th minute a ball in from Cody Drame, which was not dealt with by Palace, and we believe Noah Watson was the man that turned it into the back of his own net. And then Joe Gelhardt on the stroke of half-time. Leeds got a penalty after a header from Max Dean hit the hand of Scott Banks, despite Palace's protests. Gelhardt stepped up and fired the ball into the opposite corner. But a really good first half. Leeds, the team that dominated, they were the team that set the tempo. I thought the likes of Charlie Cresswell and co were mightily impressive. The likes of Jack Jenkins as well really bossed that midfield, set the tempo and kicked on, and just hopefully for Leeds the sign of things to come and what will be a bright second half display. Myself, Tom Hill and Ben Parker bringing you all the action. And Ben, it was attack versus defence at times. Palace did show a little bit of a threat. Kapil had a couple of nervous moments, a decent save and a bit of pressure, but overall a nice, really nice steady bit of play from Leeds, dominant in 10-15 minute spells, and the second goal was pretty much the perfect tonic.
Yeah, we were the most dominant team in the first half, and like I said, towards the end of that, can we be more clinical in the final third, because we were getting some great positions, where we were out wide, where we were getting a little hole on the half turn, and to get the second goal, I think it probably just calm us down going into this half. You expect a big response from Crystal Palace, as looks like Leif Davis is about to come on for the second half. We know what he's all about. I thought he's had a great start to this season with his energy, his pace. So that could be a good outlet ball, as I mentioned, getting out wide. Drama in the first half was a good outlet ball on the right hand side. Leif Davis is certainly going to offer that on the second half. So it's just about starting bright, don't give Crystal Palace a sniff at all.
Yeah, so we'll just double check things in a second or two once this attack comes to an end. Palace in possession with Keane Flanagan running past Jenkins. Flanagan's going to go for goal, and it's a very, very wayward shot that from the Palace substitute. But just at the corner of my eye, I thought I saw Niall Huggins playing right in the middle of the park, and looks to me like we've had a change in system in terms of players swapping round. So it looks like it's Gabriel, Drame, Cresswell, and then it will be Kennett at centre half alongside Cresswell, Davis at left back. Jenkins looks to have gone into holding midfielder, which maybe has freed up Huggins to play a bit more central. Something we haven't seen for some time, as no one kind of nips in. Good couple of touches to get the ball away. And it is now with Davis. Davis to McKinstry. Davis straight away down the left, and it was too far in front of Niall Huggins. And hopefully it's nothing injury related why we've had to see that change. But if it is tactical, is this to see a bit more of the Niall Huggins we see, the player that pretty much does what he wants on the ball and charges forward, close control, great pace? Something a bit different, Ben, through the middle today.
Yeah, it is, but it's a position he'll certainly enjoy. Seen him play further forward quite a lot of times last season with the under-23s. And it suits his game superbly, getting on the half turn, being direct. I just think the change is about just getting Leif Davis 45 minutes, or the Casey 45. We see it so many times, don't we, with the 23s. Players already know when they're going to come on at half time. But it's how you can adapt, how you can settle straight into the game. See Jack Jenkins there, he's going to be the one who's holding. Not a position that's new to him at all.
No, he's played it more than any, really. More than the number 8 box-to-box role, as he has to do some defending as Cresswell gets the clearance to Flanagan's cross. Only as far as the edge of the box. Now Cresswell gets there. If Davis nips in, Davis has been caught in possession though, and now Palace come forward. It is with Banks across the face of goal, and Gabriel tips it away any way, shape or form. Palace have the corner.
I mentioned about starting bright, not to give Palace a sniff, but they have come out of the blocks kind of firing Crystal Palace, and it's a really important period as this. Keep the ball out of our back of the net, keep it at 2-0, and then the confidence will start to drain away from the Palace lads.
Yeah, the earlier they can try and get a goal, of course, the opposite outcome, as that corner's easily dealt with Kapil, who is on the lookout straight away to go to Davis. That pass from Davis to McMillan is behind him. McMillan's got enough pace about him to go and retrieve it, and he wins his team a free kick. I think he's done very well there, Max McMillan, Ben. Having to get back on his bike and charge the other way.
That's 2-3 times where he's like just won free kicks, balls have been played up to him. I think one in the first half where it was Charlie Cresswell heading the ball clear. He picked up on the edge of the box and it eventually won a throw in on the halfway line. So that's what you want to see from a striker as well. Yeah, you want to see him score goals, of course you do, but it's all-round game that needs to be there, looking after the ball when it comes up to you, and he's done that in this game.
Yeah, ball forward, Huggins out to the left. Now a chance for them to get in behind. It is going to be floated in towards the far post. It is by Davis. Here is Gelhardt. Bit of space for Gelhardt to go for goal, but instead he goes to Dean. Dean onto his left foot, goes for the far corner, tipped away. 2 Leeds players getting each other's way. Davis one of them, Gelhardt another. Gelhardt again still somehow manages to get the ball into another Leeds shirt just when it looks like he's about to be dispossessed. Davis into the box. It's going to fall to McKinstry. Palace nearly bring him under control. Dean goes down right, the challenge. Still got the ball, Dean. One touch too many perhaps. Shot comes in. He's adamant that should have been a penalty. I think the fact he got up there, Ben, is probably what was his undoing. As the ball's over the top, Cresswell's got to be quick, and Charlie Cresswell does exactly what is needed. And a lot more frantic this first 5 minutes than what we saw in the first half.
Yeah, it is really end-to-end at the moment. But going back to Max Dean, we mentioned about how good his attitude is. He's so enthusiastic. But I think that was his downfall there. He just bounced straight back up, because I know a lot of strikers would have made the most about that challenge. He did have a bit of contact on him. Whether enough for a penalty for him to stay down, that's obviously for him to decide. But if he does stay down, it certainly gives the referee a decision to make then.
Yeah, Jenkins, by the way, that was a really brave tackle he put in, and Palace managed to get the ricochet from it, but that's exactly what Leeds will want to see. The fans, the coaching staff, Jenkins putting his body on the line. McMillan having to drop a little deeper. Flanagan, Woods, Davis steps up out of defence. Wiggins is going to try and get to the ball. Shot comes in, and it's an absolute belter from Crystal Palace. You have to credit that. It is a screamer from range. I think it's Flanagan that's got it. And Crystal Palace have got a foothold back in this game, thanks to the wonderful effort from their substitute. And you can just see what it means to them. It's game on now. This is a huge test for Leeds.
We were just saying, wasn't we, the early part, the start of the second half, keep Palace out, keep it 2-0 for as long as possible. But you have to say, since Flanagan's come onto the pitch, he's been head and shoulders their best player. Been nice and positive. You can see the size of the lad as well, really strong athlete. But I have to say, what a finish that is, by the way, on his weaker left foot. Keeper, absolute no chance. Game on now from our boys. It's important how we react, how we respond.
Yeah, Jenkins has come off worse in that tackle, by the way. He stayed down in back play. Cresswell, McKinstry, Davis, Huggins are all pretty concerned for him. Cresswell, McKinstry, the two try to lead, give them the signs of encouragement. And Jenkins is just going to check the left leg again. The other subs for Leeds are Gibbon, McCarran and Galloway. So good to see Liam McCarran back out on the bench, Ben, as well. A player that came into the fold last season and excelled down the left-hand side. But we are going to get a replay of that strike, and Leeds were just trying to adjust. Huggins, I mean, it's just fallen into his path. It's not as if they weren't putting him under pressure. It's just sat up, and well, the fact that some of the Palace players had their head in their hands suggests that they didn't see that one coming at all. And I don't think any goalkeeping coach in the world can have a go at Laia Cabril.
And from a team's perspective, you've been there, you just have to hold your hands up and say, look, fantastic strike, absolute worldie of a goal, but don't let that derail us now. Don't go into your shell, don't start trying things you wouldn't normally do. We've been the most dominant team in this game, so nothing should change from that perspective. Yes, Crystal Palace will have the tails up now, so you have to deal with their kind of positiveness coming from their players, but still play the same way, still try and create chances ourselves.
Yeah, ball out down the right, and it's hooked clear. There is Flanagan again. Good to see Jenkins is back out there. Gelhardt goes to ground, so does Jenkins. Flanagan keeps the ball, and he's going to get a free kick. I think Flanagan's happy to continue. Jenkins gets the card. Mark Jackson, we're desperate to see his players learn from this experience. They've already conceded a 2-0 cushion against Wolves this season. It's not something they want to be doing this afternoon, and this is when you learn a little bit about yourselves. What can you do? Change made, different personnel in different spots on the pitch. Sam Woods leaves that free kick. Let's take it backwards, and it is with Watson. It is to Flanagan. Now out towards Pierrick now to try and run past Cody Drame. Again, another very good interception from him. Had so many of those today, made so many this season as well, as he's trying to force Palace back towards halfway. Max Dean, it stayed in play. Just hooks it down the line, looking for McMillan, who does all the hard work for a centre forward. He hasn't had too many chances and doesn't get that many chances so far this season. As he gets the ball, it's all his work towards McKinstry. Here is Huggins. Leeds, can they get a third? Oh, it's just past the post. It would have been one of the best attacks for Leeds this season. Really good play. And Huggins puts the thumbs up, but that's what I was trying to say about McMillan. He's a very team-oriented striker. Doesn't always have to go for goal, and he'll happily for 90 minutes do that sort of play, Ben, where he has his back to goal, little passes, great vision and great movement again, and that's really unlucky.
Fantastic build-up play, Tom. You mentioned Max McMillan as Crystal Palace was breaking away here.
Yeah, we'll get your thoughts in a second, Ben, because here comes Pierre-Eric Capriel, palms it away in a freer shot, and he's frustrated. Rob Street, as a number 9, should probably be putting that on target, and the fact he tried to then repeat the effort and try and get his technique better for next time shows you how much he thought he should have done better. And this is end to end. Can't even look at the replay now without having a disappointment perhaps coming for Leeds. They've dealt with it though, and it might be that we have to get a bit more frantic. It'll be perhaps a better watch for our fans, but Jenkins coming through midfield, very ambitious run. He's just run out of space. But yeah, back to that attack with McMillan again, Ben.
Well, it could easily have been 3-1, and then blink of an eye could easily have been 2-2 at the other end. So really entertaining game in the second half, end to end. But from our point of view, we just need to shore up, do the good things that we did in the first half, because it was dominant, out of possession. Spoke about the press being really good, not giving Crystal Palace a chance at all. Just need to get back to being ruthless in that aspect without the ball, because we've seen going forward about Niall Huggins that chance. Just don't think it was either a cross or it was a shot in there. Just not really anything. Didn't test the keeper out at all. But the build-up play was fantastic. Max McMillan looking after the ball superbly. He's done that all game so far.
Yeah, McKinstry scrapping away, trying to keep the ball in play, but nothing can be done to do that, and Leeds have to just push over towards that far touch line. Cresswell. McMillan back to Gelhardt. Gelhardt's another great first touch now coming through on goal. Nearly clipped and goes over. Gelhardt still going for goal. Oh, brilliant.
Excellent.
Joe Gelhardt takes them on all on his own. Went right, went left, and fires into the far corner. It's just what he brings to the team. And just as Leeds looked a little bit nervous, Joe Gelhardt pulls them through with his second of the afternoon. Leeds United 3, Crystal Palace 1.
That's pure talent. You can't stop that. You can't do anything against that defensively. And as soon as he works the ball onto that left foot, half a yard, you're just expecting the net to ripple. Just his first touch, get away from people. Low sense of gravity, close control. He's got the ball on a bit of string there, and just the power in the shot. I have to say, superb talent is Joe Gelhardt. I just love watching him play. And the perfect response happened to going to that 2-1. Crystal Palace got it back into the game. Fantastic response.
He could have gone down as well. That little clip on the back of the ankles. He's so strong, Joe Gelhardt. His first touch, his power. It's another good point you make, Ben, about the low centre of gravity. He just has to glide across the surface. That's what it makes it look like, and it's so much harder than it is. It really is a difficult task, but takes them on, fires it in, and you could see the reaction. The likes of McMillan, the likes of Drame, absolutely delighted that he's on their side. I do think with a much younger team out there today for Leeds, they really have played well for each other. They've fought for every ball. This is going to be a tough league. There's going to be occasions where Leeds are in good positions and they do scuff up their lines and perhaps draw or lose games. But they're learning about the next level of academy football. And so far today, so good. Just when Palace were getting back into it, Leeds shut the door, and hopefully now this is a sign of things to come, as that's not the best pass from Drame into Jenkins. You can see him apologise for that. Well, Jenkins' fault that he miscontrolled. Here's Cresswell. Charlie Cresswell's off one again. Here comes McKinstry. It's into Huggins. He's got Gelhardt just alongside him. Charlie Cresswell now playing where Stuart McKinstry plays, with a couple of step overs. Will he go for goal? It's into Huggins. Drame might fancy a strike from range. Instead he goes to Dean. Dean had the option to play it to McKinstry. Now he tries to play it to Gelhardt, and the idea was ambitious, and I know Max Dean can do that, but so little space, no one can. Well, how on earth that got to Charlie Cresswell, I'll never know. And Leeds, you can see, Ben, that they're very confident on the ball, but just maybe it's me being a bit old-fashioned, that I just had to say a bit more calming of the waters and just get through this next 10 minutes. But Leeds look like they're off for a fourth, and Palace are coming back for their second. It's a very good watch, this.
It's too frantic for me this time. I just want a nice Sunday afternoon watching us stroll to a comfortable victory. But no, so end-to-end. Just lost that kind of control we had in the first half I spoke about. That's what Mark Jackson will be trying to speak to the players, get the message on. Can we just control this game a lot better? Game management, that comes into it all. You hear loads of players talk about game management as the game develops, and that's key for the rest of this second half now. If we can manage the game like we know we can do, we should run out winners, but you can see Leif Davis is bombing forward, looking for the 4th and 5th goals. Yeah,
Davis goes into the challenge. Goal kick's given, I think. Davis has come off worse in that duel. The Palace players landed on him awkwardly, or he's rolled the ankle. Let's hope Leif Davis is good to go. He's tough as all boots, and he's very ambitious to get down the left-hand side, and he's the latest in line perhaps of the Leeds left-back spot. You've got Niall Huggins that perhaps is a different mould of a left-back. And the two of them for the 23s are going to be very exciting to watch, and get the impression now, of course, with the 23s that you just never know who's going to play anywhere because of the last couple of years, the regime, and it's worked perfectly for them. Players can play different positions as Cresswell tries to fight it out and win the ball back. He might concede possession, but it is a good tackle from Charlie Cresswell. Palace right back David Boateng is not happy with the movement from his team. Eventually they get it forward, potted down the line. Intercepted by McKinstry. Leeds get the call from the officials, and the linesman on that far side, the one that spotted the penalty for Leeds. The Leeds 3 goals up to 1. Just past the hour mark. If you are just sitting down on this Sunday afternoon, Noah Watson's own goal gave Leeds the lead. Joe Gallagher's penalty gave them a 2-goal cushion. Kieran Flanagan's won the goal from 30 yards out, gave Palace a way back in before, just as we say, a wonder goal. Leeds United had one of their own with Joe Gallagher. Beautiful run into the box, took them all on before firing into the far corner. Davis gives the ball away. Gallagher again working hard on a hat-trick. Drame with another interception. I might try and get that clip recorded and just click play every time he goes near the ball. 6-7 interceptions again. Really working his way into this team really well, Ben, and perhaps one of the first names on the team sheet now after a start. I guess was played a bit of centre back, played right back, and every single game he's got better. This is the 9th game of our season, including the EFL trophy, and certainly settling into that team.
Certainly is, and again, I've said it a number of times in the games this season, but the big thing I love about him, he loves to defend. And you see so many young players now. It's the modern game. You need your full-backs, your defenders to be comfortable on the ball, going forward, overlapping all the time. But he just loves defending. 1v1 is so solid, so difficult to get past. And you're right, sometimes some players can take a while to settle into a new team, a new surrounding. And him just moving from down south up to the north, but it's settled him really well, superbly.
Yeah, once he's adjusted to our weather. He's been here a couple
proper
of months.
Weather, Tom, you know that.
He's fine now. He knows all about it, and he's got some work to do here as Flanagan's turned Jenkins. He can't bring him down though. He's on a card, and there is Drame once again. That pass wasn't the best, but look at the touch to get away. Then he wins his team a free kick, and up towards Joe Gallagher, and that's going to be a yellow card for Palace midfielder Sam Woods.
Again, defensively, positioning himself superbly. Yeah, the pass isn't great, but it's not great because Cody Drame is in the right position. If it's too wide, that's where the gap can be played down by the side of him. But it's real solid, and Max McMillan's going to come off, and after say 63 minutes, yes, he'd like more chances in front of goal, but his all-round play is superb, and that for a young striker, it's a good learning lesson, is that, because some games you get like that where you don't have many chances at all. When that does happen, make sure your hold-up play, your work rate, all these kind of little aspects that go into a performance, they need to be bang on, and there certainly was for Max McMillan.
Yeah, so changing personnel again has been spotted perfectly, which means McKinstry's come right wing, McCarron will go left, Joe Gellhardt, the player's got a brace today so far, goes up front to try and lead the line. So Leeds with less than half an hour to go. A couple of alterations already done. Cole Gibb and Josh Galloway, the next two outfield players that perhaps will try and feature. Here is McCarron. He's very direct as well. He's on his way down the left-hand side, and the pass was a little behind Davis. He's another player that can come into the fold, and as we discussed in the first half, he's a player that had a bright first season at Leeds. Joe Gelhardt goes in and wins the tackle.
What do you think of going through Joe Gelhardt's mind now, Tom? That hat-trick?
He's got to be, as in fact, Max Dean, in fact, has gone more central as well. Gelhardt's actually stayed, so my apologies for that. But yeah, I mean, the one thing I'll say about Joe Gelhardt, even though he's on a hat-trick, is he's very unselfish, and he has had times this year where you probably think, please shoot, and he plays a pass, and it's a great pass. So, but I would like to go and see him, you know, go and get it. He's a player that's has come with a big reputation. He's fitted in so well as here is Huggins across the face of goal. It's a good ball in. It was looking for Dean or McKinstry, and Palace do get across to try and clear their lines, and it will be a throw-in. The week off the 23's duties, Joe Gelhardt last week didn't get to feature. With a couple of first teamers coming in, Rafinha, Pablo Hernandez, Jan Poveda, back in the spotlight and doing his job perfectly well as Joe Gelhardt. Just been dispossessed as Flanagan goes back, and it's worked out to the right. David Boateng. Back out with Noah Watson. There's Brendan Pierrick. To Noah Watson. Risky ball out of defence. Cresswell and McCarron came up for it, and neither of them could get a touch to it. And as Ben said earlier, Ian Flanagan is a player that's he's certainly dragging Crystal Palace through this game. Joe Gelhardt a little bit late perhaps in the tackle. And Kennett. Referee saying there's nothing in that incident, so it is play on. This would be a good win for Leeds, just in the conference levels against Palace, as I mentioned earlier. They played 4 times since 2017, not won any of them. 2 draws at Selhurst Park in the last few seasons in the Professional Development League, when they had to go and play a handful of games against teams in the south. So not a common fixture. Cresswell flies into the tackle, wins the ball back, then goes in for a second, and he's a bit unlucky. Flanagan just lets him take it before going to retrieve it. I think this is the point Ben made. Palace's spirit, perhaps. They're playing their football, Ben. They're trying to keep possession, but first 6-7 minutes of this second half, it was backs to the wall for Leeds. And I just wonder if your point is starting to run true.
You're trying to say that I kind of know something here, Tom. This must be a first.
It's not often, Ben, but here we are. 3rd season in, 9th game.
Strange times we are living at the moment, so strange things do happen as Crystal Palace make another change, and you can just see they're trying to just throw more bodies forward now, aren't they? They've got nothing to lose. But from our point of view, that goal from Flanagan, that should be in back of our minds, just to say things can change in an instant just like that. And we've seen us have 2-goal leads this season and been wiped out. So yeah, it looks comfortable at the moment on the scoreline, but we know these games of football can change so quickly.
Great work again from the right-hand side of defence, Cody Drame. Here comes McCarron into the box. Good block by Palace, and it will be a Leeds corner. That change was Alfie Matthews, by the way, for Brandon Pierrick. And one of the danger men for Palace is now off as Leeds wait for the ball to come back in play and ready to take another set piece. Stuart McKinstry has gone to take it, so Noah Kenner, Cresswell, Davis, Gelhardt, McCarron and Dean are all on the edge of the box. It is Jenkins at the far post. Here comes Cresswell. Cresswell's headed back across goal. Unlucky there, Charlie Cresswell. Jenkins was lurking on the edge of the box. Here comes Cody Drame. Now this is a real race as Flanagan charges forward. He's been Palace's best player. Cody Drame slipped, but look at the numbers. Leeds again. Flanagan still going on his own. Leeds have to just try and stay composed, force him backwards, and they've done just that. No need to bring him down, no need to foul him. Now Leeds reset at centre-half, a ball. In comes Cresswell, header, and Elia Kapil gets to it. That's good work from the number 9, Rob Street. He has been a constant threat whenever the ball's been put into the box. He is a very big, tall frame. He's not as tall as him, but he reminds me a bit of ex-Leeds player Matt Smith. Very strong, comes alive in the box. Cresswell's dealt with him pretty well so far. Drame into Jenkins. Jenkins needs to be quick and is, and it's a beautiful curling ball out to the left for Leif Davis. I said this last week, but I think this is Jack Jenkins' best game for the 23s.
Seems like you're saying every game at the moment, and that's the consistency he's been striving to get into his game. Obviously played a lot of 23s football now, so I just feel he feels confident. And sometimes as a young player you grow into the role, you're still growing and developing yourself, parts of your game. And I just think we're seeing the rewards at the moment, and a lot of the players as well. The confidence is high. We're playing some good stuff so far this season, winning lots of games of football. And when you do that, you enjoy the games and your performances.
Yeah, Flanagan now in possession. Leeds trying to force him away from goal. Drame trying to stand him up. He comes into the box, and there is McKinstry to come and help his teammates out. Great backup players. Dean a little lucky to not concede a free kick, and I'm not trying to say Palace are playing a bad game today, but their tactics the last 5 minutes for me are just pass it to Flanagan. He is the heartbeat of this team, and Leeds maybe try and man mark him, but it does seem that every time Palace get the ball, Ben, that's all they're trying to do. It's not a bad tactic, of course.
Like I said, he's been head and shoulders their best player, and you have to give credit to Sean Derry making that substitution in the first half, try and change things up. It was just a surprise watching how well he's played that he didn't start from the off. So, but like I said, a few challenges now starting to fly in. Just don't react, don't do anything stupid. See McKinstry there just trying to have a word with the referee. Cody Drime doing the right thing, just pushing him away, just calm the situation down. This is what Crystal Palace we wanted to do, just try and get the, just try and entice our players into stupid challenges, get involved in things they don't really need to. It's about having cool, calm heads at the moment. You can see we're obviously pretty chilled out now. Diffuse the situation. It's yellow card for the substitute.
Yeah, it's a good spot, Ben. The players not reacting. Into 20 minutes left of this game. Alfie Matthews is shown a card. No, and Kenner trying to have a word with the official. And yeah, it was a little bit hot. He was not happy at the incident with Jenkins. Then he flies into McKinstry. To Cresswell, good crossfield pass. Cresswell has to be quick there as Street nearly got to pick his pocket. He's a bit unlucky, frustrated as Kenner comes to the right. McKinstry intercepted by Sam Woods. Here is Flanagan again. And Kenner, Cresswell, and here is Jenkins. Jenkins releases Niall Huggins, who's not seen too much of the ball in the second half. Out to the left for McCarran. He's got McKinstry coming in at the far post. Max Dean's in the box. Still with McCarran, who we expected Leif Davis to making that run, and a little breakdown in communication. We are going to need another ball as that's flown over the far side. The two Leeds subs unable to connect just then as Palace with Streets. Cresswell gives him a bit of a nudge, and now it's with Jenkins, and Jenkins again just mopping up the plate. Wants it back from Capriel. Kenner, great midfield splitting pass into McCarran. He's got Dean in front, he's got Gelhart alongside. McCarran across to Davis. Into McCarran again. Leeds perhaps need to be a bit quicker here as the shot comes in. It's cleared. It'll fall to the edge of the box, and that's Banks that puts his foot through it. And it's up to Street, and there Jenkins again. And Jenkins once more just brings it under control and just tries to get Leeds away down the right this time instead. McKinstry goes down. Should be a Palace throw in, then it is eventually given, but great ball from Noah Kenner.
Superb. And that's the benefit of having a player who's played a lot of his football growing up, developing as a centre midfielder, and he's played at centre half. He can have that quality. Midfield splitting passes, so key in terms of modern day football now, because teams get lined up, they have plenty of men behind the ball. To bisect that, you need to have that quality. Can you thread those passes through the midfield areas? And that's why it's done there. Great score by Gelhardt on this near side.
Yeah, Gelhardt was tackled from behind there by Rob Street. Gelhardt before that, by the way, with that really strong tackle. He isn't afraid to put his foot in, Joe Gelhardt. He's might have a number 10 on his shirt, but not as similar to modern day number 10s. He does like to enjoy the more physical side of the game, and then he goes and does from robust tackle where he puts his foot in where it hurts to then nutmegging a man down the side with he's got an inch of room. He's got it all in the locker by the looks of things, as Leeds play a bit of a risky pass to Leeds Davis, who decides to back out of the challenge and win his team a throw-in. Davis to Gelhardt, back to Davis, he's got McCarron on his inside, Dean is lurking, so is McKinstry, gets the slightest of touches to it. It's going to be another strong challenge. Max Dean goes in, he's not happy, and that was the Palace player going down, was Reece Hannum. I've seen cards given for that, really. I mean, I know he was intending to go for the ball. I'm surprised the referee's not had a word with him. It's another player that will happily play in an attacking position but put his foot in again is Max Dean. There's a lot of Leeds players that are doing that. We saw Crescencio Somerville when he played earlier this season. He was one player that caught the eye off the ball as well as on it, and his work rate. And Leeds 3-1 to the good. They've got this cushion. Hopefully it continues. It can be extended inside the final 15 minutes. As Palace concede a throw in. The goal so far, an own goal from Noah Watson, Joe Gelhardt from the penalty spot. Kean Flanagan made life a little tougher with a fabulous strike from distance for Palace, before Joe Gelhardt went on a solo run of his own to slot the ball into the far corner. At the moment, things are looking up for Leeds in terms of the table. After a heavy defeat round 1, they really have picked up their results. It could be 4 wins in 5 as Davis comes across from left back. No free kick given by the referee, and Davis is quick. He's got the chance to play it out to the left, and Palace have got numbers back. McCarron, Gelhardt's trying to go in on the overlap. Here is Joe Gelhardt back into McCarron. McCarron, he just delayed it a split second, perhaps a bit rusty on his return from injury. And Joe Gelhardt charging back. That's that point we debated earlier, Ben, about will he just start going for the hat-trick, and perhaps had an awkward angle for goal. He could have gone for it though, but McCarron was in a better position, so he'd rather play it to him.
Yeah, he was a real team player. Great build-up play though.
Yeah, Matthews is going to try and go for goal from range, and he was inspired by Kean Flanagan. And Leeds will take that all day long in terms of the output and the outcome, but Mark Jackson will not be happy that a centre midfielder's had a free shot on target at 3-1. Here is Jenkins in midfield. Lovely ball into Gelhardt. Gelhardt goes to the left-hand side. Now they're trying to build an attack. McCarron, he's got Davis on the overlap. Davis instead decides to go for a bit more of a slower build-up. Huggins could have gone from goal into into Dean. Dean's going to try and find a bit of space. The shot takes a deflection, and you can see Cody Drame is unhappy. Bit of a strop from him at right back, and he really has got forward well today. I can sort of sympathise though with Max Dean. He's probably trying to make amends for the chance earlier that he made more difficult for himself. But little touch on the edge of the box, it opened up and he had a sight of goal, and he's a forward by trade, so I can understand his thinking rather than going across as perhaps a potential advantage. Palace wanted a free kick, and the referee didn't signal with that with his arms, but I think he has blown up in back play for it, so it will be a Palace free kick. Still plenty of time for a bit more drama and action, Ben, which is hopefully going to go one way.
Yeah, I mentioned that the scoreline looked healthy for our point of view, but last 10 minutes, all it takes is a goal for Crystal Palace, and then you're on the back foot, backs to the wall kind of stuff then, so it's important you just stay strong. Don't concede another one, keep it at 3-1, if anything, add to it, It's important in these kind of areas you stay with your runners, you stay switched on, and that's the concentration levels we were talking about in the first half. Thought they were really good. Yeah, we've been a bit stretched at times in the second half, but can you just kind of see the game out, be professional, do a good job then.
Yeah, Davis with McCarron. Now Davis is in full flight down this left-hand side. He is clipped, and that's going to be a Leeds United free kick, and I think we're going to get a card, and the Palace player is trying to claim that he got a touch to the ball, David Boateng. If Davis is hopefully going to be okay. He's going to hurt. He's been in the walls so far, put himself into some sticky situations since he's come off the bench at half-time. And Joe Galhart to take, or at least offer his services to take the free kick. Stuart McKinstry is going to also give his input. Now McKinstry towards the far post. It is to Cresswell. Cresswell inside to Dean. Dean needs to be strong, and he is, and it's going to come to Jenkins. Jenkins tries to flick the ball inside, a bit of power on it. Palace now trying to attack. There's Joe Galhart again with a nice and timely interception, just watching the play from a distance before picking his spot to intercept. Now the ball out to McKinstry. Turns inside. Now Gelhart. Gelhart's got options to go back to McKinstry. He tries to find him. A little ricochet. McKinstry tries to go for goal. That perhaps is a handball. The referee's going to give a goal kick anyway. Tremendous energy levels again from Leeds' players. Stuart McKinstry, another one that epitomises what the club are trying to do now with the tactics, the setup. Played left wing, played right wing. Kenner gets up, and another player that's had a fine afternoon so far. But Leeds have to concentrate for the full 90. This is a tough league. We keep mentioning it every game, and perhaps the quality we've seen over the years, been in the Professional Development League, some Leeds fans might perhaps expect that it will continue. But Leeds is certainly doing a fine job to be in those top 4 or 5 places in this league, because we know the level of competition. We've seen it firsthand with Stoke, giving Leeds a rude awakening to the division.
Yeah, it's credit to the players, but credit to Mike Jackson as well, coming into the role for the first time, making that step up from the under 18s. But it look like we're going to be really competitive in this league this season. Some great victories already. Be a big 3 points this today as well, and all that just keep the momentum going back up last weekend's victory as well. So some good signs for the season ahead.
Yeah, here's Jenkins, looks through the middle. Huggins can't get a touch to it, but he has got an option to look for Davis if he can go retrieve that ball, which he can. Davis again puts his foot through it into the box. Gelhart was lurking. It's almost going to fall. It will fall for Dean off the crossbar. Dean at the second chance, and he heads the ball in. The right place at the right time, and Max Dean continues this scoring record this season. Tremendous effort, unlucky with the first, and again a nice calm finish to make it Leeds United 4, Crystal Palace 1.
And that just goes to show, don't give anything up, keep fighting. And that's how he got his goal. His work rate's superb. He always can just like sniff out a goal, any opportunity. And the games we've seen him so far, only a handful with the 23s. We've seen with the 21s against Barrow when he got those couple of goals as well. But just in the right place, right time. Didn't get anything up. On the hand for the simple tapping from the rebound off the woodwork. And you have to say, he's got that lovely little knack of always getting himself on the score sheet. It's not bad for a striker, is it, Tom?
No, it's certainly not. And his attitude is exemplary, really. Never gives in. Another good thing as well, I think, for a young player, that, again, there's so many under-18s that are in this team. Let's break off because Flanagan's on his way, trying to cause a problem again for Leeds. Dramme's sticking with him. Flanagan still with the ball. Dramme decides to bring him down. Keelan Flanagan not very happy. Does have the ability to go on his own. But yeah, I just think what I like to say about it as well, I'm sure the Leeds fans will agree, is just how much it means to Max Dean to score as well. He just looks delighted every single time. A player that is playing an age group above. Leeds at 4-1 up. Need to stay switched on though, because Flanagan again, I'm sure, will be offering advice to everyone else of where he wants them to go, and should this not go in. Elia Caprile has a 4-man wall. Dean is to the left, to the right of the wall. Kennett, Cresswell and Gelhardt. Scott Banks has been replaced by Harlem Hale. Alfie Matthews has also come in. It is going to be Flanagan. Good block from Max Dean, who put his body on the line again as Matthews thumps it to the far post. It's going to be a chance. Street goes down. He was looking for a penalty. Cody Dramé just looks at him to say, please do not be trying to appeal for that. A little glaring look over his shoulder. Joe Gelhardt again, just trying to do anything to get Matthews off the ball. Flanagan. Kenner steps up. Cody Dramé again. And what about that for a tackle? Hooks it clear as best he possibly can, but close control. And now Palace going to come forward. Leeds just going to sleep a little bit at the back here. Too much of a free space for him to come forward, Boateng. Here is Hale. David Boateng again, he's on his way into the box. McCarron has to try and stand on his feet, not bring him down. Boateng goes down. Cody Dramé wins it back. Huggins gets in. Huggins goes to ground. He said he touched the ball. The referee looks to his linesman and suggests that that is going to be a free kick, and it's Malachi Boateng that is clipped and brought to the floor. So Crystal Palace have a free kick, and in fairness to Palace, they're digging in. They're trying their best to make it a more respectable scoreline. Good to see Leeds showing a bit of fight as well, Ben. Maybe not as eye-catching and technically as good, but just a bit more robust play and doing everything they can to keep this ball out of that net.
I gotta say, Max Dean's goal just made these situations a lot more relaxed, less stressful, but still as a defender, you still want to keep the ball out of the back of your net, so still keep doing the right things.
Yeah, Dean trying to give the instructions out at the near post. Up towards Street, out towards Elia Caprile again. Great hands. Street looks around, disappointed, but that's 3 or 4 times today Elia Caprile's come out of his goal and just calmed everything down. He has really looked good under the high ball this season. And Leeds again straight away on the attack. Now it's Jenkins once more with a perfect pass out towards McCarron. McCarron to Davis. McCarron's available for another pass. We'll keep that play. He was known Kennett. It's a nice play from Kennett. Joe Gelhardt with a back heel didn't need to make. Leeds get a free kick. Even when he makes a mistake, Joe Gelhardt can win Leeds a set piece. Jenkins has to be careful here because Rob Street is just trying to lurk behind him in case he decides to go backwards, but he's played into Gelhardt. Now to Dramé. Here's McKinstry. Huggins was making a run inside. Dean looking for Huggins. Oh, it's great football from Leeds. Turns back inside, back again to Dean. And Palace put the block in. I mean, we've seen some great football today, but I think that would have been my favourite move of the match. Huggins on the supporting run. And Dean's very unlucky. And with Leeds get another corner, Ben.
We did everything right, as you said, Tom. It had probably been the goal of the day in terms of the build-up play. Fantastic to see. Players enjoying themselves, playing with freedom. Unfortunately, Crystal Palace just got the block in the time, but superb to watch.
McKinstry just having a word with the referee, the assistant. The ball comes in. Cresswell heads it towards goal. It takes a deflection. McCarron has to be quick. He's got Flanagan behind him. Here is McKinstry. Little back heel. McCarron is predominantly left-footed, so he'll try and find a bit of space. And he does work it out towards Niall Huggins. He's got Davis over on his left shoulder. And it is to Davis. Davis goes in with another early cross, looking for the run of Kenner. Cresswell was also coming, and it's steered behind for yet another Leeds United corner. That's something different we get from Davis, whereas Niall Huggins is direct and runs and tries to cross it from a shallow angle. Ben Davis, his crosses are from deep.
Yeah, you could see the reason why Charlie Cresswell and Kenner stayed forward, because they knew that as soon as the ball worked out to leave Davis, get yourself in the box, because one-touch delivery, superb delivery as well. Doing well to clear it out for a corner in the end.
Yeah, McKinstry again, he'll be looking for Cresswell. Cresswell back into the mixer, is it? No, it's just behind. Not the best connection, but always a threat from set pieces, Charlie Cresswell. touch from Drami. Just over a minute then of normal regulation time. Have you got a standout man of the match candidate for yourself? I'm sure that a long list of Leeds players will be on your shortlist.
Short list, long list, is it? Whatever list we're going to come up with. I think it's just been a really good team effort. As Dave's tried to put the ball again nice and early across, but the keeper's gathered it this time. No, I just like to say I think it's been a really good team effort, real strong, composed. He's played some really good stuff as well in the final third as the game's gone on. Cody Drama, I thought has been excellent from right back. Joe Gelhardt as well. That little bit of quality when it was 2-1, when it got a bit nervy, he stepped up and just kind of put everyone at ease really. So some big performance from those kind of players. But I think also as a collective, as a young group of players, knowing that they can win comfortably when you haven't got the more experienced first team players dropping down, I think that's a real key going forward.
Certainly is. As Huggins tries to look for a fifth ball in from McKinstry. Dean is frustrated, he just can't read the path of their header. It's unlucky. And it has been, as Ben said, a very collective effort. I think Jack Jenkins has been superb, McKinstry as well. Ben highlighting Drami and Gelhardt as here is Cody Drami. Can he go on and try and get an attack? He's just going to stop things as we got 4 minutes of added time. Davis, very direct this time, looking for McCarran. It was a possible angle. McCarran certainly feels so. He puts the thumbs up to appreciate the pass. Kenner's header can only find Flanagan. He's got Drami to try and get past. Gelhardt's also coming back to help out. Up to Matthews. Matthews looking back for Flanagan. Drami can't bring him down. Still got the ball. Still trying to do it all on his own. Turns past his man and Cody Drami just stands him up one more time. And that ball is smashed away to the far side of this pitch at Thorp Arch as we've got another sub to make. And it is going to be Max Dean making way for Josh Galloway. And a really good performance from young Max Dean. He really has stepped up to the plate the last couple of weeks. EFL Trophies where he made his first real input on me and Ben, and just to see how his hard work rate, and again gets that reward with a goal. Doesn't look too comfortable walking off there, probably because he's just run himself into the ground repeatedly for the last 3 or 4 weeks.
You mentioned it though, Tom, the way he celebrates every single goal. It's almost like he's celebrating scoring the winner in front of 40,000 at Ellen Road week in, week out. Every goal means so much, and I love to see that from young strikers. You can just quite easily put the ball in back of the net and then just a couple of high fives and run back for the kickoff. But no, he celebrates every goal like it's going to be his last. And as I said, he just has that knack, that killer instinct. Always finds himself right place, right time, finds the back of the net. But then his work rate, and him and Max McMillan, 2 young boys, 2 young lads coming into those kind of forward areas without Sam Greenwood, the player of the month. It's good to see these boys stepping up.
Yeah, again, it's a pretty important point that it is number 9 that started the season. He's still out injured, hopefully a couple of weeks before he can return to the fold, but just showing you the strength in depth Leeds have got. They've got to defend here as that cross comes all the way towards Cody Drami. He's got to be quick, and he is. He just takes the ball past Hale, and now he's on his way down this right-hand side. He continues, and I said Jack Jenkins might be having his best appearance. I think Cody Drami has joined him in that club as well as Leeds pile forward. They want a 5th here against Crystal Palace. It's with Davis. And Gelhardt go on and get his hat-trick. It's Huggins back to Davis. Davis is going to try and attack towards the goal line, but he's just going to be punished, and it's the wrong player to kick. You don't kick Leif Davis. He doesn't stand for that sort of action. He always looks after himself, and a little bit of petulant play from the Palace player, not happy with the contact from Davis. A minute of stoppage time remaining. Joe Gelhardt, I think, is having a word with the right back David Boateng, that lashed out at his teammate, showing that togetherness. Here is Flanagan again. Cody Drami's had a bit of work to do to mark him in the second half, and the fact that Palace have only got the 1 goal shows you how much of a good job he's done. He's got work to do here again. Leeds have allowed 2 supporting runners to get in behind towards the far post. McCarran gets his foot to it. And McCarran again. Has to be quick quick to get the ball away. He has to be brave in the tackle, but he's been thumped to the floor as now David Boateng goes for goal and he's whipped it past the far post. And that is exactly what Leeds United need just as the conditions start to worsen. The game is in the bag. Could well be that after this goal kick, the referee decides to blow. I'm sure the players will be delighted to stand there in the rain for an extra 45 seconds. They'll be off running towards the changing room as soon as possible. Zalai Kapil does go long, and the referee does decide that that is all he wants to play today. 4 minutes of stoppage time, 4-1 for Leeds United. What a fabulous performance. Noah Watson's own goal was the goal that put them in front. Gelhart's penalty on the stroke of half-time made it 2. Flanagan's goal gave Palace a chance before Joe Gelhart scored a fantastic solo effort, and Max Dean finished it off with a header to make it 4. Leeds United move up the PL2 table with yet another fabulous display, up to second now, with Middlesbrough having a game in hand. So it's 4 wins in 5, and it's Newcastle United away from home on Friday the 6th of November. 1 o'clock the coverage will start. Thank you once again for joining us.